good evening, beautiful soul. So here I am a week late, and if you've read my post earlier, I've got hair somewhere. Oh, I hate that. If you read my post earlier, you'll kind of know why. Now I need a couple of people. I need to invite a couple of people who I said I would invite. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to let you into a little secret as well. I actually have underneath my jumper, I am wearing a onesie. I am wearing my onesie because in my house I have no central heating. So I think that was it. Was it someone else? So yes, I'm wearing my onesie. I have my dressing gown in my my hot water bottle, sorry, in my lap. There we go. And hello. Yes, my hot water bottle was in my lap. So so I'm here. What are we here to do? Well, this idea came to me before Christmas because, hey lovely, how are you doing? Because let's face it, the past 12 months have been an emotional shitstorm for everyone, and so all emotions have been amplified, and we just don't take enough time to acknowledge and celebrate our courage. Hey beautiful, onesies are good. Yeah, nice and cozy. It's like at the back there. So yes, where was I? Yeah, it's been like a real emotional shitstorm, and we don't take enough time to acknowledge our courage and our strength. And also, as well as being like an emotional shitstorm, I know a lot of people, me included, have changed their priorities a lot. You know, some of us have realized that some things are not important and other things are important. But the thing is, so it's been an amazing opportunity for growth and evaluation. But here's the thing. We process emotions through our body, which is why when we feel depressed, we feel it. We've got no energy. When we feel happy, we've got lots of energy. And emotions are energy in motion. And every thought we have is processed through our body, which is why we can like think of a happy memory and we feel happy, even though we're not actually there. And it's the same with negative, low vibration emotions, I'll call them, rather than negative emotions, like sadness, anger, guilt. And I'm sure, like me, you have probably experienced every emotion known to human beings this past 12 months. Let me know if that's you, because I've had times where I've literally just screamed. I've had times where I had one day when I was driving back home in my van, and for a second I thought about driving headfirst into a tree. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know I'm not alone in that, because I know on top of all the stuff that's been going on, people have been going through other shit. I mean, me personally, I hadn't quite got over my mum dying before this all kicked off. And then I lost my pony in May, and that hit me just as much as losing my mum. My marriage broke down, all that kind of stuff. All down the road in Dragon onesie. It's good to get good stares. Thank you, love. So saying I've got a onesie on underneath it all. And I've just had a shower. But yeah, so on top of all our normal stresses and worries and it's been amplified. Everything has been amplified. I realized recently, because the reason I didn't start this when I said I was going to on Sunday was because my mood took a nosedive, and I've been noticing that pattern throughout the last 12 months, that I'll have a few weeks I'm okay, and then at that time of the month, even though I'm postmenopausal, I still have the ups and downs. My mood hits the floor and I sink into depression. And I realized, well, thank you, I must have done something right. That's in my lashes. I realized the other day that I normally have these drops in mood and drops in energy, and usually the drop in energy starts first, and then when I have a drop in energy, my negative thoughts come in, and then I have a drop in mood, and then I end up in a negativity loop. But I realized the other day that it's amplified at the minute. It's amplified because of everything going on. I mean, I'd be stressed and upset anyway, but the fact I'm now on my own because my marriage is broken down, so I'm now in a situation where I'm responsible for all the bills plus all my fur babies. And so I've never been one to lie in bed worrying, but the last few months I have spent time lying in bed worrying, thinking, how am I going to feed everyone? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And so we've all been you know, it's like 10xing all those negative emotions and fears. And I realized that that's why I was sinking so low, because of the situation I'm in. So, and if we don't acknowledge those emotions and kind of deal with those emotions, they will show up in the body. Our body speaks our mind. And I know a lot of people who have been experiencing unusual aches and pains recently. And me, myself, a few weeks ago, my back was really hurting. It was like, felt like concrete. It was really, really painful. And then I realized that it was because I was worrying about supporting myself. Our spine is our support. And I was worrying about whether I could be able to support myself. As soon as I acknowledged that that's what it was, that's what my fear was, my back pain disappeared. Now, a lot of people are getting neck pain, shoulder pain, because we feel like we're burdened, and it shows up in our body. Or we get neck ache because we're scared to look around. We don't want to see what's coming, or we don't know what's coming, so we can get neck ache and that kind of thing. So I wanted to do a little session where we work through all our energy centers. I thought the cat was stuck somewhere. We work through our energy centers, release any trauma that's in our body, but also focus on nurturing our positive qualities. Because the fact that we're still here right now, yeah, and I say when you get low moods, when you've got chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, that kind of thing anyway, the fact that everything that's going on, all the extra fears and worries, it amplifies it. It makes it 10 times worse. And me, even though I'm so self-aware, it was only recently that it was like, oh yeah, duh, that's probably why it's been hitting me harder than normal, because normally I can get through it and I'm all right. But yeah, I was in tears the other day, and it was like, ding, light bulbs went on. It was like, oh. But even the most self-aware of us can take a little while to get things sussed out. So we are going to just go through the body. We're going to connect with our body, because especially in a time of fear and anxiety, we tend to be all up here. And when we get aches and pains in our body, we just rush to the medicine cabinet or whatever, or, you know, put a hot water bottle on your back. And quite often just acknowledging those fears, as with me, when I acknowledged my back pain was due. Yes, exactly. We are all human. And when I acknowledged that my back pain was due to fear of me being able to support myself, it eased. And quite often just acknowledging those fears can help ease it, can help make it a little bit better. The body doesn't have to keep sending you that message, because as Shanice said, we are all human, and it's human to feel fearful. And at this time, we've never experienced anything like it. Everything is so uncertain. And it's no wonder that we're all kind of feeling fearful, whether you're fearful of becoming ill or just, you know, fearful in general, fearful of losing your job, all those kind of things, and they will show up in the body. So I invite you to sit somewhere where your feet are flat on the floor, but where you're going to be fairly comfortable. And that you can sit up nice and straight, so you're not slouching, but you don't want to be like rigid. And just remember, I'm just going to get into our bodies, connect with our bodies. So I just want you to place one hand over your heart space and one hand just below your belly button. Now what this does, touch is comforting, which is why we tend to touch people and why we tend to rub ourselves when we bang our elbow or whatever. It is comforting. And it's a way of kind of giving healing to ourselves as well as to others. And it also lines up, because our chakra system runs up the length of our spine. So as you place your hands, it takes your awareness out of your head, out of your thinking, or that, or what if this happens, what if that happens, I can't do this, endless thoughts. And as you're doing that, I want you to imagine breathing into your belly. So as you breathe in, I want you to feel your belly expand. Now it might be a big movement, it might be a little movement, it doesn't matter, but just try and breathe into your belly first. Keep breathing in, feel your chest expand, feel your chest, your rib cage expand rather, your chest rise. And just pause at the top of the in-breath. And as you breathe out, feel your chest relax. Keep breathing out, feel your rib cage relax. And keep breathing out until you feel your belly button pull in towards your spine. And then just pause for a few seconds at the end of each exhale. So you're inhaling belly, ribs, chest, pausing for 2 or 3 seconds, and exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly again. Keep exhaling till you feel your tummy tighten. And keep breathing like that just for a few breaths. And the other thing this does is this activates the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body, which activates our parasympathetic nervous system. So when you're feeling kind of stressed and everything's all in your head and we're all uptight and anxious, it brings you to a state of calm and groundedness. Because when we're kind of fearful and we're worrying about things, let's say we tend to not be grounded, and that can also cause illness and disease in the body because there's no energy going to the rest of our body. We're all up in our head. So whenever you're feeling a bit anxious, a bit worried, or just need an energy boost, just taking a few deep breaths like this can really help to calm the body down, because oxygen is our body's fuel. And when we're not breathing properly, our brain isn't getting any oxygen. And so that can make us feel even more anxious and stressed and all those kind of things, which we don't want. So you can continue breathing that way. You can keep your hands here if you wish, or you can just rest your hands on your lap. But try and keep your eyes closed if you can, because I want you to keep your awareness in your body. And just notice how you feel right now, with no judgment, no criticism, no wishing anything were different. Just noticing how you're feeling energetically, how you're feeling physically. So noticing any areas of tension, tightness, anywhere that feels a little bit tender. Again, without judgment, without criticism, just simple curiosity. Almost as if it's the first time you've ever really paid attention to your body. And also notice how you're feeling emotionally. Cats are going to have a mad 5 minutes now. And if there was one word to describe how you're feeling right now, and whatever word pops into your mind is perfect, it's just for you. And it might be kind of a strange word. It might be like hollow or hard, or whatever pops into your mind is perfect. And try and keep that steady breath. And as you breathe, visualize the breath flowing up and down your spine. So as you breathe in, imagine the breath flowing up from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. And as you breathe out, visualize it flowing back down from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Almost like a wave-like motion. And as you watch that wave-like motion, your body will naturally enter a more relaxed state. And you might notice your shoulders relaxing a little bit more. Sometimes we don't realize we're holding tension until we suddenly kind of let it go. I'm just going to invite you to take your awareness to the area around your tailbone. Imagine you've got X-ray vision and you can see your spine, and just visualize the area around your tailbone. So it's really just in front of your tailbone, but around that area. And just notice any sensations. Again, there's no right or wrong answers. Just sense into that area of your body. Keeping that deep, long, flowing breath. So down at the tailbone is our root chakra, and our root chakra is associated with our survival, basically. So when we feel fearful, because we're worried about losing our job, we're worried about feeding our family, we can have issues in this area, and that can affect our legs, that can affect our lower back. So I just want you to feel into this area, and that negative or low vibration emotion we want to release here is fear. So I want you to ask yourself, how would it feel to be able to let go of fear? It doesn't matter what the fear is about. How would it feel to let go of fear? Even ask your body, say, show me how it feels to let go of fear, to believe that all your needs are met. Because this moment right now, this moment right now, you have everything that you need. If you've got food in your belly, if you've got clothes on your body, if you've got a bed to sleep in, if you've got a roof over your head, if you've got people who care about you, even if you're not with them, you have everything you need right now. And that fear stems from worrying about the future. You know, sometimes we may have stiffness in our hips, and it's because we're literally worried about moving forward. So we literally become stuck. So imagine releasing any fear, letting it go. If you want to, you can exhale out through the mouth and imagine breathing it out. Never make yourself wrong for feeling fearful. As Shanice said, we're all human. And it's natural, especially with everything going on, it's natural to feel fear, to feel that we're not being supported or that we don't know where we are at the moment, because things are changing every single day. We don't know what our standing is in the world. And when people lose their jobs, for example, they fear that they've lost their status. So how would it feel to be able to release fear and just be in this moment, and to know that you have everything you need in this moment? And just notice any changes in your body as you say that. As I ask your body, how would it feel to let go of that fear? And you can always imagine it draining out through your feet, down into the earth, as if you've got roots in the soles of your feet. And imagine that fear letting go down into the earth. And still breathing into the belly, into the chest, into the heart. Because the kind of flip side of a healthy root chakra is insecurity. And what we want to cultivate is that sense of vitality, worthiness, and abundance. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing in vitality, good health, because our root chakra, physical needs, survival, good health. Imagine inhaling vitality. Exhale, letting go of fear. You may imagine it's got a color. What color does fear have as you let it go? Inhale worthiness. Know that you deserve your place in this world. Know that the universe, Mother Earth, is here to support you. There's no kind of one person is more worthy than the other. We're all here. Hey, beautiful. We're all here because we are divine. And so we deserve everything we have, and we deserve the things that we want. So breathe in, inhale worthiness. How would it feel to know that you are worthy? And exhale, let go of fear. Inhale, imagine breathing in abundance. Abundance in all forms. We tend to think of abundance just as in money, but we have abundance in all forms. I've got an abundance of amazing friends. Some of them I've never met in person. When I went outside this morning, there was an abundance of frost, an abundance of flowers and trees, or maybe not flowers, but trees. And, you know, I had people give me stuff over Christmas, a bag of cat food someone gave me. That's abundance. So knowing that you are worthy to receive, because some of us are so good at giving, but not so good at receiving. So breathe in vitality, worthiness, abundance. Exhale, let go of fear. Just imagine letting it go. Visualize it flowing out on that exhale. And just shift your awareness up a little bit. So just below your belly button. So we move to the sacral chakra. And this is associated with pleasure, sensuality, sexuality, which are two slightly different things. And the negative, low vibration emotion we need to release here is guilt. What do you feel guilty about? Us humans are so good at feeling guilty about things that we have no reason to feel guilty about. So as you think the word guilt, what have you been holding on to? What do you need to release? Know that there's no right or wrong answers. And notice the sensations in that area. So just below your belly button, notice the sensations there. A lot of us, especially if we've experienced some kind of sexual abuse or sexual trauma, will have issues in this area because it's our pleasure center, it's our movement center, our hips. So tension in the hips can indicate blockages in this area. So how would it feel to let go of guilt? Ask your body, show me how it would feel to let go of guilt. Because again, sometimes we may not realize we're holding on to it. Maybe you feel guilty because you have more than someone else. Maybe you feel guilty because you've still been able to work the past 12 months and other people haven't. So whatever it is you're holding on to, let it go. Again, you can imagine it flowing down through your legs, out through your feet, out into the earth. And if that guilt had a color, what color would it be? And use your incredible imagination. And I know you've got a good imagination because you're able to think of all the reasons you should feel guilty, which is bullshit. So imagine that guilt has a color and imagine it draining out through your feet. And the flip side, the kind of negative vibe, is emotional instability. We just don't know what we're doing. We can't give birth to new ideas. We can't connect with other people. So visualize letting go of guilt, still breathing, belly, ribs, chest. And if any kind of tension, any kind of like tears sometimes may come up when you realize you've been holding on to stuff, and that's okay. You want to let it go. And once you visualize letting go, imagine breathing in pleasure. Pleasure in all forms, whether that be sex, whether that be food, whether that be money, whether that be just doing things that you enjoy. We are here to enjoy life. We are here to experience pleasure, yet we've been brainwashed into believing that life should be hard, that life should be about hard work, and that maybe you get to enjoy yourself at the weekend or something. And that's just bullshit. So let go of that guilt. Let go of that guilt. Maybe you feel guilty because you love what you do. You love your job. You're in a loving relationship, and you feel guilty because someone else isn't. It's time to let that shit go. As you breathe in pleasure, breathe in creativity. We often tell ourselves we're not creative because we tend to think of creativity as being like music or art or writing. But if you put together a meal or an outfit, you're creative. I used to think if I wasn't creative, but I put together class plans, I write meditations. We're all able to give birth to ideas. And also breathe in acceptance, acceptance of yourself and of others, just the way they are. Because sometimes if we're holding on to guilt about something, we can judge other people because they don't feel guilty, if that makes sense. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing in pleasure, the ability to experience pleasure in all and any form. As you breathe out, release that guilt. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in creativity, divine creativity. As you breathe out, again, let go of that guilt. Breathe in acceptance of yourself and others. As you breathe out, let that guilt go. It's not your burden to carry. Kantork ishora kamak usnikatara mayara wotor konyarteka hukutishna katiart a nokormundukoregetea huiartako namokortishna kaya watora huramati kayam vutara. And bring your awareness up to the area just above your belly button, your solar plexus center. This is our center of willpower, of personal power. And the demon we need to release here is shame. Shame. Now, I know for me, when I was sexually abused, the problem I struggled with most, it was shame. Feeling guilty, feeling full of shame for not putting up a fight, not doing this, not doing that. Let that shit go. Whatever you feel ashamed about, and it might be something that happened years ago. but think of letting it go. What do you need to release? How would your body feel if you could let go of shame? Maybe you feel shame because you've enjoyed this past 12 months because it's given you opportunities to focus on other things. Maybe you feel shame because, you know, some people have been dying and yet you're full of health and vitality. Again, imagine letting it go. If you wish, imagine it flowing out down through your feet, down into the earth. And if this shame had a color, what color would it be? So when we have issues here in our solar plexus, we lack self-esteem, we lack confidence, we lack the ability to take action. We feel unprotected, which is why sometimes we cross our arms over our chest. It's kind of like trying to protect that area of our body. You can imagine breathing into that area. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine breathing in courage. As you breathe out, visualize letting go of shame. And also take this moment to acknowledge your own courage, the courage it's taken to get through this past 12 months, all the struggles, all the worries that we've all been going through, but focus on your personal courage, because it's not a competition. It's not about, oh, my problems are worse than yours. The fact that you're here tonight, the fact that you're still here right now, the fact that you're wanting to do something for yourself, the fact that you're wanting to change your life, that takes courage. To agree to incarnate at this moment in time takes courage. Sometimes just to get the fuck up every day when you really don't feel like doing it, that takes courage. We tend to think of courage as being like going into a burning building and rescuing someone, but sometimes it's the small little things where you just really don't feel like it. Like me on Sunday telling myself, no, I can't do this. It's taken me courage to show up today, knowing that some people will think I'm talking bullshit and will just switch off, and that's okay. That's okay. So just take this moment to acknowledge your own courage. So as you breathe in courage. As you breathe out, let go of shame. Whatever last little bit of shame you may be holding on to, whatever it may be for. Visualize letting it go. It might feel like something's being pulled out of you, almost like you've got a cord attached to your solar plexus. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. That negative energy, that low vibration energy, it's not yours. No need to hold on to it anymore. Breathe in courage, breathe in self-worth, breathe in personal power, breathe out shame. Let go of any shame. It's not your burden to carry. Then moving up into your heart space, your heart center. Still breathing, belly, ribs, chest. And the demon we need to release here is grief. Grieving is kind of selfish because we're grieving for ourselves. I grieve because I miss my pony. I grieve because I miss my mum. That doesn't make it any less valid or any less human. So what grief are you still holding on to? Whether it be grieving a relationship, grieving a person, grieving a job, whatever it is. Where do you need to release grief? Because our heart center obviously is associated with love for ourselves and others. And when our heart center is blocked, we can experience loneliness because we don't feel connected. We're blocking ourselves from giving and receiving. A lot of people who are fearful of love, kind of, you hear the term harden your heart. or heartbroken, those kind of things. And we can literally almost have a brick wall around our heart so that we don't give or receive. And that can result in chest pain, breathing problems, problems in our ribs, in our mid-spine. So ask your body, how would it feel to release grief? And it might be something that happened years ago. It might be something you don't realize you're holding on to, and that's okay, because there's layers and levels. You know, there's layers and levels. We may reveal one level, reveal one layer, and we overcome that. Healing never goes in a straight line. You know, you have good days and you're okay, and then you have a bad day, then you're okay. And it's layers and levels. So say you may find something coming up that you'd long forgotten about, and that's okay. So imagine letting go of that grief. Remembering that nothing ever dies, it merely transforms. Again, you can imagine it flowing out, down through your body, down through your feet, down into the earth. Imagine little roots in your feet, down into the earth, and that low vibration emotion being drained down into Mother Earth, being transformed, transmuted into positive, loving, healing energy. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in love, pure love, not lust, not loving your top or loving chocolate, but real love. That pure, unconditional love. And as you breathe out, let go of that grief. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in compassion for yourself and others. Think of all the times you've been mean to yourself, the times you've given yourself a hard time, when you've beaten yourself up, metaphorically speaking. And let go of grief. Inhale, breathe in forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself and others. People struggle with forgiveness because they think it means condoning someone's behavior. It doesn't. It simply means choosing to no longer carry around that burden, to no longer carry around that pain, to no longer carry around that event that may have happened to you years ago. So breathe in love, compassion, forgiveness. Breathe out, let go of grief. Not that any of these emotions are wrong. Grief, shame, guilt, they're not wrong. They're just not your burden to carry. We don't want to carry them around with us. And if grief had a color, what color would that be? Again, imagine it flowing down from your heart, down through your legs, out through your feet, down into the earth. Orea ka amaya sor teka arashniara godina kiara aramo hiara wahi shontorka nitisna korta. Tears are good. Now we want to move up into our throat chakra. And the demon we want to release here are lies. And when I talk about lies, I'm not necessarily about saying, telling lies. I'm talking about the times when you bite your tongue, the times when you don't speak up, the times when you're afraid to say something, like me, being afraid to speak this stuff in case people judge me, in case people ridicule me. Times when you've not felt able to stand up for yourself. Being in a kind of abusive or toxic relationship is a classic example. A time when you found yourself agreeing with someone when you really don't agree with them, but you don't want, it might be your boss or someone. So obviously to do with the throat is truth, speaking our truth. But we want to let go of lies. We want to let go of all the times we've either haven't spoken up or we've said something that we don't believe because of fear of repercussions. Again, notice any sensations in your throat area. Quite often people will get a cough or a sore neck or sore throat. One of my friends recently had a sore throat, and I said to her, what is painful for you to say? What are you struggling to say? And she was like, oh, wow, yes, I didn't realize that. But we get like sore throat or a cough when there's something we're dying to say, but we daren't, usually for fear of judgment or fear of ridicule or fear of repercussions. So imagine letting go of lies, letting go of the times you've either not spoken up or you've said something you don't believe. Ask your body to show you, how would it feel to let go of that? How would it feel to be able to say exactly what you want to say without fear, but also knowing that what you speak as your truth is your truth. It doesn't have to be everyone else's truth. How would it feel to say what you want to say with no fear of judgment, with no fear of anyone ridiculing you, or if they do ridicule you, it's okay. You're not going to get upset about it. You can just be content knowing that you are in your truth and they are in their truth. How would that feel? How would that feel to be able to do, say, speak whatever's on your heart? Because that's what sometimes happens. We get problems between our heart and our throat because we've got something burning in our heart that we want to say, but we daren't say it. So we get like chest pains, we get throat pains, or we get, say, sore throat, chest infection, that kind of thing. So imagine letting it go. Sometimes it might almost feel like you're being strangled because you daren't speak up. So if that energy, if that emotion had a color, what color would it be? And you might want to breathe this one out of your mouth. You might want to breathe out through your mouth with a silent. Imagine breathing it out. Any negative, lingering, low vibration emotions, any times you felt scared to say what you want to say, breathe it out. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in expression, the ability to express yourself. That also includes being able to speak your emotions. So if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, you can say it. There's no fear to say it. If you've got something that you believe, you can speak it. You can express yourself in whatever way feels authentic to you. So the other flip side negative emotion to do with our throat is judgment. We speak quite often when we judge others, we're actually judging a part of ourselves. So you often see it with things like politicians who are against prostitution, for example, and then you find out they've been caught in bed with a prostitute, or anti-drugs people who are then caught snorting cocaine. So we tend to kind of judge people as well. So imagine being able to express yourself, to be fully authentic, knowing that while some people may not like what you have to say, there are others that are waiting to speak your truth. Imagine speaking your purpose, what you came here to say, what you came here to share, what you came here to offer other people. It's like when I speak light language, sometimes I've got no fucking idea what I'm saying, but it feels good to me. And I've had other people say that when they listen to it, it feels good to them. But I've been so scared of speaking it because it sounds like I'm talking gibberish. But my body knows, my soul understands. So I may sometimes feel like I've got something blocked in my throat because I want to speak it, I want to share it, but there's a fear there. So ask your body how it would feel to no longer have any fear, to no longer judge yourself or others. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in expression, authenticity, purpose. As you breathe out, let go of lies. The lies you tell yourself, as well as not speaking your truth at other times. And move your awareness up to your third eye point, so the space between and behind your eyebrows. Keeping your eyes closed, turn your eye gaze up to that point. Notice what you see there. To start with, it might just be dark, shades of dark and light. But after a while, you might start to notice little patterns, like looking in a kaleidoscope. Now, the demon we want to release here is illusion, not seeing things as they really are. So not seeing clearly? How often do we make an assumption? How often do we decide what someone else is going to think, what someone else is going to say? How often do we decide how a situation is going to turn out? And we're not seeing things clearly because we're clouded by our own judgment and by our own presumptions and our own fears. And the flip side here, the negative emotion here, is denial. Denying, sometimes we deny what we actually see in front of our face, and sometimes we see something totally different. So imagine releasing that. Imagine you could release illusion. Imagine you could see clearly. You can imagine a little circle of violet light, the center of your forehead, where people wear the bindi spot. Still focusing your eye gaze on that third eye point. Ask your body how it would feel to remove the illusion, to be able to see clearly, to be able to see yourself clearly as you are, as a beautiful, wonderful, spiritual being having a human experience. How does that feel to see clearly? What situations have you not seen clearly? Sometimes when we're in a relationship, with me, for example, I spent the last 2 years trying to convince myself that everything was perfectly okay in my relationship, and it really wasn't. And I realized how much energy I wasted doing that, and it blocked me from so many things, and my head is so much clearer now. I'm not doing that. And we do that. We convince ourselves of things. We convince ourselves we're happy when we're not. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in clarity. Clarity. Exhale, let go of illusion. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in wisdom, sight. As you breathe out, let go of illusion. As you breathe in, imagine focusing on intuition. We are all so intuitive, but we've learnt to fear it. We doubt ourselves because we know something, then we don't know how we know, and then our logical brain kicks in. The amount of times I've ignored my intuition and regretted it. So know that you are such an intuitive being, and you have the ability to see clearly. So imagine, you can imagine a little window in the center of your forehead. Imagine clearing that little window, wiping it clear, almost like having dirty windows on your car and you can't see properly. Everything seems distorted. And now you're clearing those windows, clearing so you can see clearly. You can trust your innate inner wisdom, which I know you have, otherwise you wouldn't be here right now. So breathe in clarity, wisdom, intuition. Breathe out, release illusion. Kiaro a kit ayno shira wa kiaro hama akadara. Yara rawa humi akadara. Ikala mawahira ikala ulan dikiara ulala rikole mayara. Kala wada lira kodora ala monitira kiara ushara la legalo malo ala yara kinuno rikata tisnorta. Horkati isiana waturi kamorutisha nakara rurkitaria horma akiharata ayakamuradidara kushna kadara. How would it feel in your body to totally trust your intuition, to be fully connected to your inner wisdom, and to have total clarity about what you want in life, where you're going in life, and what you deserve? To no longer doubt yourself. How would that feel? How does that feel to your body, in your body? And lastly, take the awareness to the crown of your head, the crown chakra, keeping your eyes closed. Turn your eye gaze all the way up, as if you've got a little skylight in the top of your head and you can see right through the top of your head. So what we want to get rid of here is attachment. Us humans are so attached. We're attached to our youth, we're attached to our body, we're attached to our possessions, we're attached to our children, our animals, and that is what causes most of our suffering. Also the ego here, when we attached to things, we fear their loss. And our ego says, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, when actually none of it is. Absolutely nothing belongs to us. Because even this body will one day return to dust. And this chakra is associated with cosmic energy. And the flip side, the downside, is confusion, a sense of confusion, experiencing a lot of headaches when we're kind of confused, when we don't know what we believe. Sometimes we've been brought up in a religious household and we don't believe in that religion, yet we believe in something, or we say we don't believe in anything, or we just haven't got a clue what the fuck we believe in. That can result in that confusion in our crown chakra. So we want to release attachment. We want to remind ourselves that we are energy in human form. We own nothing. Even your children are not yours. My fur babies are not mine. How would it feel to let go of attachment, to not fear losing anything, to not fear losing your youth, to not fear losing your health, to not fear losing your life, to not fear losing your home, anything? Ask your body, how would it feel to let go of attachment? And you may imagine that energy flowing up and out of the crown of your head like a whale spurting water out of the crown of your head. And if that emotion, if that demon had a color, what color would it be? So I want you to imagine on that exhale, letting go of attachment to everything and anything. How would it feel to know that all your needs are met, that you have everything you need, and that nothing belongs to you, so therefore you cannot lose anything? As you breathe in, imagine breathing in connection, oneness. So often we feel alone because we think we're alone, when actually the law of one, we are all one. You are my brothers, my sisters, we are all one. I had an image a few years ago of like a star, like the galactic star, not the five-pointed star, like a mass of burning pure white energy. And every now and again bits would shoot off, and it's like that was our one consciousness. And every now and again a soul would shoot off, come into a body, live life on earth, and afterwards as it would go back into this mass galactic star, this mass one consciousness. How would it feel to know that we are all one? How would it feel to know that we are soul brothers, soul sisters, that we are never alone, that we are connected to something beyond that which we can see with our eyes, beyond which we can touch with our hands? How would it feel to know that there's not necessarily a higher power, but you are your higher power? How would that feel in your body? How would that feel to know that you are divine? Whether you want to call it God, the universe, purple spotted marshmallow, whatever you want to call it. How would it feel to know that you are divinity? Ask your body to show you how that would feel to accept that you are a spark of life, a soul having a human experience. You are here to learn, to grow, evolve. You are here exactly where you're meant to be right now. All the decisions, all the choices you've made, whether you think you've made right choices, wrong choices, you are exactly where you are meant to be right this moment. How does that feel? Inhale, connection, oneness, divinity, awareness. Exhale, attachment. Release attachment. And imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. And as you look at yourself in this mirror, you don't see your physical form. You just see pure, brilliant, white light. You see yourself as the light being that you are. Shikaya rahi amatikura. Hiara otor kumistikartinor kietara. Hayama shutortis nara kitara. Kin seka achnurst ayatore kietara masina ortikaršnora. Kiara tokishnakata. How would it know to feel that you are supported by your soul brothers and sisters, that your ancestors are right behind you, your loved ones never left, and you have access to all the knowledge, all the answers, all the divine wisdom that you seek, and that when you tell yourself you don't know something, you do know. It's just there is a fear there. Whenever we say we don't know, we do know. You do know. Take another nice deep breath in. And let it go. Just do another little check-in. Just notice how you're feeling right now. No rights or wrong answers. Just how does it feel to be in your body right this moment? Imagining yourself just as energy in human form. And when you feel ready, you come back to the present moment. If you feel like sharing anything about your experiences, that would be amazing. If you'd rather share privately, that would be amazing. I've got Shadow here today. Mr. Shadow. There he is. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking a bit more about soul contracts. The idea that before we came into this lifetime, we kind of made some contract as to what lessons we would come here to learn. And usually the way to understand what you're here to learn is what has been the hardest fucking thing to learn. So perfect example is someone who may have lost their family in a drunk driving accident. You're very welcome, my lovely. So someone who maybe lost their family in a drink driving accident or something, what would be the hardest thing to do? The hardest thing to do would be to forgive that driver. And that is likely that person's soul contract. Me, I think I'm here partly to learn self-forgiveness, because one of the hardest things for me to do was forgive myself when I was raped, to forgive myself for my 15-year-long eating disorder, where I had a complete love-hate or hate-hate relationship with my body, and also to experience emotional independence, because I've always been in a relationship. This is the first time, probably since I was about 15, that I've not been in or looking for a relationship. So I think those are two of my main lessons. I haven't completely sussed it out everything yet, but I think they're two of my main lessons. But everything we've gone through, our biggest challenges, are there to help us grow, help us evolve. I mean, Shanice, I know I've talked about you before, but she is an amazing example of that. She has multiple different conditions, and yet she's not let it beat her down. She helps other people who are I don't like the word disabled, because I don't like that. I call it difabled, because it's differently abled, because disabled kind of is a negative thing, and I don't like that. But other people who are going through struggles and who aren't as able-bodied as other people. So she is amazing. And I know Jane here, MS, and she still doesn't let that get her down, because I think they were given to you as gifts to learn something. And tomorrow, hopefully, we may gain some clarity as to what those lessons are, because let's say we all have challenges, and some people let them define them. Love you too, baby. Beautiful girl. We can let our challenges define us. It's like, after I was raped, I decided I was not going to let that define me. It took me a long time to overcome the anger at myself, my shame at myself, because I didn't put up a fight, I didn't do this, that, and the other, but that's another story. But yeah, we can choose to let them define us, or we can learn and grow from them. And I know that you guys, because you're here right now, you're here to learn and grow from them. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, beautiful souls. If you'd want to send me a message in private, if you need to ask me any questions, if anything has come up that you don't want to share publicly, then please feel free to message me. And I love you so much. Thank you. And I shall see you tomorrow, hopefully. It will be, people can catch up on replay and it will still be the same energy. So it's okay. No idea quite how tomorrow will work out, because it's kind of just go with the flow. But thank you, beautiful souls. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Mwah. And remember, you are amazing.